Hey, if you're living in an older house, you might have a problem, a really big one that you can't even see. Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the world of cast iron pipes. You know, the tough but oh so troublesome plumbing that might be lurking in your walls.
Seriously, what is going on in there? You know, it's a question we all kind of push to the back of our minds until we can't. That drain that's getting slower and slower. Maybe that weird smell you can't quite place. Those aren't just annoyances, they're clues.
And for a ton of homes, especially those built before the 1980s, the answer is cast iron. For decades, this stuff was the absolute gold standard for drain pipes. Why? Because it's incredibly strong. But here's the catch. That strength has an expiration date, and a lot of these old systems are really starting to show their age.
All right, so let's dig into the real issue here. Why are these pipes that were once so reliable causing such massive headaches for homeowners like you today?
Okay, this is the part that's kind of wild. On the outside, cast iron is a beast. It's super tough. But its fatal flaw? It corrodes from the inside out. Modern PVC pipes, you know, the white plastic ones, they just don't have that problem, which is exactly why they're the standard now.
The main villain in this whole story is something called scale buildup. And the best way to think about it is exactly like plaque building up in an artery. All that rust, gunk, and minerals start sticking to the rough, corroded inside of the pipe. And over the years, that opening just gets smaller and smaller and smaller.
So you think you've got a clog. Before you go reaching under the sink for any tools or, worse, any chemicals, it is absolutely crucial to figure out what you're really up against. You got to start with a proper diagnosis.
Now listen, your house is gonna give you clues, right? The big ones are pretty obvious. Drains that take forever to empty, those nasty smells wafting up from the pipes, and of course, the worst one, water backing up where it definitely shouldn't be. If you're spotting these signs, it's time to play detective.
And look, here's the deal. For anything more than a simple minor clog, just guessing is a really bad idea. The specialists over at NW Sewer and Drain are really clear about this. A professional sewer camera inspection is the only way to be 100% sure. I mean, they literally feed a tiny camera down into the pipe so you can see with your own eyes what's causing the trouble and exactly where it is.
Okay, but let's say the problem seems pretty minor. There are a couple of things you can try yourself. Think of this as your safe DIY first aid kit for your drains.
So the pros always say to start with the basics, a good old-fashioned plunger or a simple plumber's snake. Now, why these two tools? It's because they work by using simple physical force, either pressure from the plunger or direct contact from the snake, to break up a clog without doing any damage to the already fragile walls of an old cast iron pipe.
But what happens when that plunger just isn't cutting it? Well, that's your cue. It's time to call on the professionals. And trust me, they've got some much bigger tools in their arsenal.
The first major league technique is called pipe descaling. You can think of it as a super targeted deep clean for your pipes. They use a specialized machine that goes right inside and basically grinds away all of that caked-on scale and rust, restoring the pipe to its original full width.
And then you've got the heavy hitter, hydrojetting. This is exactly as intense as it sounds. We're talking about a hose that blasts water at an extremely high pressure, and it just scours the inside of the pipes clean of absolutely everything. Tree roots, grease, that nasty scale buildup, you name it. It's basically a factory reset for your entire drain line.
And you don't just have to take my word for it. Listen to what this customer Greg had to say. He points out that not only did the hydrojetting fix his problem, but the camera inspection beforehand meant he learned more about his plumbing than he had in 30 years of living there. That's the difference between just fixing a problem and actually preventing future ones.
All right, we've gone over what to do. Now let's talk about something that's maybe even more important. What you should absolutely not do. And please, if you have older pipes, you need to hear this.
I mean, we've all been there, right? You've got a stubborn clog, you're at the hardware store, and that bottle of chemical drain cleaner is just screaming, easy fix. But for old cast iron pipes, is it actually safe?
Let me be as clear as I possibly can be on this. The answer is a huge, emphatic no. You have got to avoid drain cleaners that use sulfuric acid, period. Here's what's actually happening when you pour that stuff down the drain. Sure, that acid might eat through the clog, but it doesn't just stop there.
It's so incredibly corrosive that it keeps on going, eating away at the actual metal of your pipes. It can punch holes in them, cause new leaks, and in a worst-case scenario, cause the pipe to completely break down. You'll turn a simple clog into a catastrophic and very, very expensive disaster. Now, sometimes a pipe is just done. It's too old, too corroded, and no amount of cleaning is going to save it. When you get to that point, it's time to talk about replacement.
But the good news is, this doesn't mean your whole yard has to get torn up anymore. Modern methods are way less destructive. With something called pipe bursting, they literally pull a brand new pipe through the old one, shattering the old pipe as it goes. Or, with CIPP relining, they insert a soft liner coated in resin, inflate it, and it hardens into a brand new, solid pipe right inside the old one. Pretty cool, right? And just so you know, all the fantastic expert info we've been going over today comes directly from the team at NW Sewer and Drain. They're the specialists who handle this kind of stuff day in and day out up in the Seattle area.
So I'll just leave you with this one thought. Your home's pipes, they're like its arteries, and knowing what you're dealing with and how to take care of them isn't just about stopping a clog. It's about protecting the health and the value of your entire home. Thanks for diving into this with us.